We'll bring in now New York Assemblyman Mike LaPetri, and our panelists, Jack Kingston, Tom Basile, are standing by. Good to see all you guys here on the show here. Mike, good to see you back here. I haven't seen you in a while. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Should the mayor be grilled for this reversal in his position? Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Defund the police, that's just pandering to the political base right now in the leftist mob. I mean, just weeks ago, our law enforcement and first responders were hailed as heroes during this pandemic. But now, rather than building bridges between law enforcement and the community during these divisive times, extreme left-wing Democrats like Mayor Bill de Blasio wish to burn them.
Assemblyman, I'm wondering just what would be the mayor's thought process behind this whole thing. He's clearly moving away from supporting the NYPD and so many others that support our law enforcement here. Who is he trying to appease?
He's appeasing that left-wing extremist bloc that is pressuring more and more Democrats to go more and more leftist and socialist. You know, people like the AOC, the Squad, those types of mentalities that are actually harming our communities rather than safeguarding. Frankly, Mayor Bill de Blasio, if you want to fund the police, then lead by example. Remove all police detail for you and your family. And then those that want to join in that course should do the same.
Jack Kingston, your response there to the Assemblyman's words.
I think I want to vote for you. I wish you. I live in Savannah, Georgia, but maybe I can vote absentee ballot in New York. I think exactly what you're saying is right. The mayor is not leading. He has joined the mob. He is absolutely pandering. He's not looking at the statistics. But what really bothers me as a guy who admires the first responders in the Big Apple, I just remember so vividly 9/11, the police were there with the firefighters, with so many others on the front line, risking their lives. And now for the very mayor of that same city to be slapping them in the face, broad brushing them as all a bunch of racists, I think it's offensive, not just for New Yorkers, but for all of America.
Tom Basile.
Yeah, look, he has spent his entire political career demonizing the police. He did it after Eric Garner. The cops in New York City have absolutely no confidence in this mayor. They have no confidence in their own leadership in the top brass. And look, all of this moving the money around and putting it toward other social programs. This is all part of that great liberal lie that if we only spent another $1 billion, that we're going to solve the problems that underlie the violence that we see in these communities. And it's all absolute nonsense. It's the same mayor who put his wife in charge of a $230 million program to combat homelessness that went absolutely nowhere. It's done nothing. He's been accused of fraud for $500 million spent on another children's program. He spends $4 billion a year on public housing, where the conditions are more deplorable today than they were, before he took office. $25 billion in education system that only graduates 30% of its people at grade level, and $1.6 billion on mental health services. And it never seems to be enough, and it never works. The programs are not working, and the system is actually getting worse. So again, this is, he's a socialist. So that's going to be their solution, and it's not a real solution.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that bothers a lot of people. $1 million to go and pass out, and you've got 10 dead cops taking their own lives. Clearly, They need help, and who do they go to? Their leader's not there for them. Final response from Assemblyman, and then we'll go.
Yeah, I mean, New York City just last week saw 13 murders. I mean, during this June 1st riots, June 2nd riots, you saw 2,300 burglaries in the city of New York. I mean, people need to wake up, because if you want your city to become safer, cleaner, and more efficient, then you have to start actually electing Republicans, because you look at all these cities throughout the United States that have Democrats leading the charge. They just cave to this political pandering and don't actually help the people that are actually suffering in these urban minority districts. I mean, that's why I'm running for Congress over in the South Shore of Long Island, because the people there get that we want people to actually care about us and actually care about doing what's right, not what's easy.
Time for passion on this side about it, and they see it from you, sir. Thanks so much for coming on. It's Mike LaPetri. Jack, Tom, stick around. A lot more to cover on National Report. And you guys stay with us as well.